Now, of course, to start the yoga, many things had to come together. You are sort of ripe to do yoga, but there have to be also pretexts to start yoga. Some cause some little accidental incidents or whatever it is, they are needed to get going on the path of yoga. Now, in the case of Savitri, the pretext to do the yoga was Narad. He was a cause for her to get going on the path of yoga. In the Indian tradition, we could say that Narad had initiated Savitri on the path of yoga. Initiated. What is called in Sanskrit, he gave her Diksha. Diksha, initiation. One who gives Diksha, he is called Dikshit. So that way, Narad is the Dikshita to give Savitri the word of yoga. Now, he does it in a very different kind of manner. It is not that he goes and utters a word in the ear of Savitri, come on, Savitri, start your yoga. Not that. He tells straightaway what Savitri is here for, what work she has to do, that she has to get prepared to carry out that work. Narad comes exactly 1 hour before the arrival of Savitri to the palace. He is already there in the palace before Savitri returns after meeting Satyavan in the Shalva forest. Savitri has discovered love in the forest. She has met Satyavan. They have pledged to be together. Now, in order to confirm that pledge, even in the face of the greatest adversary, something has got to be done. Savitri has met love. Savitri must meet death also. Savitri must meet death also. And therefore, one of the most important proclamations he makes is 1 year after their marriage, Satyavan must die. That is what we have here. 12 swift-winged months are given to him and her. This day returning, Satyavan must die. This day returning, the day on which he makes that proclamation, that moment, everything is already fixed. This day returning, Satyavan must die. Now, Narada is very emphatic. He says that he must die. He doesn't say he will die. He doesn't say that 1 year after their marriage, Satyavan will die. He doesn't say that. It is immaterial whether he lives or dies. But then he says he must die. In that must die, the entire mystery of Savitri's mission is locked. Savitri's work is locked in that particular single phrase, must die. In fact, that is how we have at the very beginning of Savitri, epic Savitri, in the very first canto, the last line, 341th line, this was the day when Satyavan must die. The poet proclaims about the day. Now that day coincides with the day of Nara's utterance, Nara's proclamation. You see. Actually, throughout the epic, we kind of keep on constantly listening this tolling bell. Satyavan must die, Satyavan must die, Satyavan must die, Satyavan must die. It constantly kind of keeps on pealing in our ears. Must die. Actually, in one of their conversations, after Shivandu's accident, his disciple used to sit around him for a short time in the evening, and they used to talk about all kinds of things. And on one occasion, Purani had asked Shivandu about the tale of Savitri, and in the course of his answer, he said that, but Satyavan has to die. He used the phrase, he has to die. That has to die is exactly the same thing, Satyavan must die. When he is telling it to Purani, he will say has to die. When he is writing as an epic, he will say Satyavan must die. So the significance of this must is the one which one has to see its connotations, its relationships, its consequences. All these things have got to be connected with the mission of Savitri. Why he must die? Because Savitri has met love. Savitri, in order to fulfill her life's mission, must also meet death. Meeting death is an imperative, is an inseparable aspect of her life's mission, meeting death. And therefore, she must meet death. Meet death in what way? Death is a god. Savitri, in her original form, is the immortal goddess. So it is not that they are going to meet elsewhere in the cosmos. The occult meeting is already arranged on earth. Death must come down on earth. Love must come down on earth. And Savitri should also come down on earth. And so to say, Savitri should meet death face to face. Face to face. That is important. It is not that the battle is fought between Savitri and death in the occult. It is fought on the earth. Earth and doom and love, these are the important characters in the story of Savitri. It has to happen on earth. Therefore, Savitri takes the mortal birth. Therefore, Satyavan also takes the mortal birth. Death appears in the physical form, touches the ground, picks up the soul of Satyavan and starts walking away. All this will have to happen on earth. Earth, the mortal world, Mrityu Loka. As the Sanskrit phrase is, earth is the Mrityu Loka. Mrityu Loka is the place for continuous progress. It is here on earth that the continuous progress is possible, not in heaven, not in any other plane, vital, physical, but it has to be here only on earth. That is the greatness of this Mrityuloka. Therefore, the death is connected with this continuous progress on earth. Must die, it means that there is something coming in the way of this progress, and that has to get eliminated if the progress has to continue further. That is the basic logic, so to say, of the whole event, of the episode. Therefore, when Narad comes and says that this day returning Satyavan must die, what he has actually done is he has sown the seed of yoga in the soul of Savitri. Something suddenly now got awakened in her. Something seized in her. Yes, I had to now prepare myself for this particular moment. Prepare myself. That is the yoga. She has to do yoga for that purpose. Now, why she has to do yoga? She is, of course, Divine Savitri. Why does she need to do yoga? Because whatever has to be done, whatever has to be accomplished in this mortal world, not up there. She has to take the human birth, through the human process, through the human growth, human evolution. She has to take things forward, carry them forward. And that can be done only by yoga. And therefore, Savitri has to do yoga in that context, you see. Now, that also makes it very clear. Why should Savitri do yoga? For what purpose she must do yoga? Why? Because she has to gather the divine force in her soul to meet the challenge of death. For that purpose, she must do the yoga. For what purpose? By removing death from the process to open out the path for future growth, future manifestation, for new possibility of the spirit to enter into this creation. That is the purpose of that thing. So, in that sense, it is very epochal. In fact, the story of Savitri begins with that. The narration of Savitri begins with that. The epic begins with that. This was the hour before the gods awake. All these things happened before the gods awake. Across the path of the divine event, the huge foreboding mind of night, alone in her unlit temple of eternity, lay stretched immobile upon silent Samaj. This mind of night is lying across the path of the divine event. This mind of night is the physical obstructing the entry of the higher power and light. And that mind of night here is embodied in the figure of death. It is he who has to go away. Unless he goes away, the path cannot be opened out. So, right in the beginning, the story tells us what is the whole epic about. This is happening and it has to go away. And it was ever before the gods awake. Gods awake. These are the gods of the supramental world. They cannot come here as long as death is present. They cannot enter into this creation as long as death is present. In order that they come here and do their work, first death has to go away. Therefore, Savitri's work is now going to open out the passage for the entry of those gods who are not operative, transcendental, supramental gods. They are not the cosmic gods, absolutely the supreme gods. If they have to come and work here, death has to go away. Death, who also embodies falsehood. As long as falsehood and death are there, the supramental light and force cannot work here. So if that has to happen, first death has to go away. That is the task of Savitri. That is the fixed mission of Savitri. Remove this god. Remove this mind of night, so that the gods who are asleep, they wake up and take charge of this creation. You see. In order to do such a mighty thing, mighty job, Savitri must do yoga. So that is the raison d'etre for Savitri to do yoga. That also makes it very clear that there is a kind of a specificity in the work Savitri is going to do. Remove death, remove falsehood. Then whatever has to happen will be carried out by those gods who were until now asleep. It was the hour before the gods have awakened. Now the gods have awoken, and Savitri can kind of stay back and they will do the work now, you see. From that moment onward, you see. So in order that, so there is that kind of a specificity in Savitri doing the yoga. Actually, there is specificity of yoga for every individual. Each one has to have his own mission, his own intrinsic demand of the soul to achieve something of the spiritual, transcendental in existence here. And he has to strive to achieve that. For that, he has to do that yoga. So each individual has his own basic, intrinsic, specific kind of a yoga. When you say the book of yoga, it does not mean that it is a book of yoga for all of us. It is for Savitri alone, in a sense, you see. Actually, we are already saying that Ashwapati yoga is specific to Ashwapati. His yoga has a specific objective, and he is doing that thing to achieve that objective. What were his objectives? In fact, he had three objectives, Ashwapati. In the context of this mortal creation, if the problem of this mortal creation is to be solved, then he must bring down the divine power here, who will accomplish what is necessary for that to be accomplished. So his task is fixed, to bring down the divine power here upon earth. This is what we are saying in the adoration of the Divine Mother. He is pursuing the unknowable to bring down from the unknowable the transcendental Mahashakti, so that she does the work here. Now, she does the work here, all right, but what kind of work she will do? Ashwapati is summoning her down, but what is she supposed to do? I mean, it's not a vague statement. She has to be given a specific kind of a task. Come down is not enough. What is she supposed to do? For that purpose, he has already established in the transcendent, in Satchidananda, the new creation. The new creation which must manifest here. He has already established the whole new world there, and it has to be brought down here. So his task is to establish that new world. In the context of that new world, he has to now summon her and say, look, it is ready there now, you please make it manifest here. Make it manifest here. So that is the task. Now, in order that she comes here, he has to also prepare the ground, the base, the support, adhara. See, she is a dynamic divine force and there has to be a solid support, otherwise everything will crumble, crush. If she starts walking on this one, it will get pressed down, you see. There has to be solid foundation and support. So he is yoga sadhana, tracing all the cosmic worlds, plane after plane is climbing. Ashwapati is climbing plane after plane. He is not climbing here as a traveler, as a tourist, seeing all the different aspects of this world and creation. Every place he goes, in every word he goes, he is leaving behind him the divine presence. He goes to the vital world, he leaves his presence in the vital world. He goes to the mental world, he leaves his presence in the mental world. He goes to the spiritual planes, he leaves his presence, the divine presence. In other words, he is preparing the whole world for her coming down here and walking on this earth. Trade. Then only she can walk. So that becomes the support for her to come down. So in that sense, again, there is that specificity of Ashwapati's yoga to create a new world, to bring down the divine power, to see that the foundation is ready for her work. So his yoga is tailored, devised for that particular purpose. Same way, Savitri's yoga is also designed, tailored, is specific for a given purpose. Now we have to discover ourselves what is it I am going to do. I have to find out myself. What is my mission? I have to discover myself and then do the yoga. So it begins with that, you see. माँ करेगी वो नहीं चलता. See, it's not like that. Mother will do everything. You have to discover yourself and then do all things. See, that is important. So this is important to realize that it is Savitri's yoga, and therefore whatever we are going to see in whatever little manner possible for us, we will be seeing it as her yogic siddhis, accomplishments, realizations. Savitri's realizations, they are her realizations.